You've all heard the old saying, dead men tell no tales. Well, the entire action of this play takes place in a funeral parlor, with one of the corpses playing a violin. Who, you might well ask, will put up the money for a play like this? Well, I tell you, it's a man called Rick Lansing, a fellow who would take his grandmother's scalp and sell it for a toupee, yet who will lose thousands of pounds on this without a murmur. Why? To keep his wife happy. Well, to keep her. This play will open and close in one devastatingly dull evening, or my name isn't Simon Templar.
This is the craziest thing I ever read.
I want you to understand it. Just back it.
Don't bite my head off.
I'm sorry.
Why are you so touchy these days?
Oh, I've got rather a lot on my mind. I'm worried about some of the casting, and Stratford Keane isn't the easiest of directors to work with.
Then fire him.
Well, I don't want to do that either. He's also very capable.
Iris, listen. If this play is making you unhappy, or if it's more trouble than it's worth, forget it. I'm only putting up the money to give you pleasure.
Yes, I know. And I'm very grateful. Truly I am.
Iris, it's what you want?
Yes.
I'm crazy about you.
Thank you, darling. But let's go now, shall we?
You're going to the theater in that?
Well, what's wrong with it?
Okay, but it beats me. 5,000 pounds worth of mink nesting around this flat, and you're going to the theater in a piece of cloth.
My dear man, there won't be a single woman in the cast in a mink coat today.
How many women in that cast got mink?
The point really is that for the backer's wife to appear overdressed would be vulgar.
But every time I open your cupboard door, there's another animal hanging on the hook. If they're so vulgar, why buy them?
Well, let's not discuss that now.
Iris, listen. I don't care what face you show the world, but at least be honest with me. The truth is, this is a crazy play. And the only reason it's going on, with you in it, is because I'm willing to kiss 8,000 pounds goodbye.
Well, thanks.
Well, darling, it sure isn't your talent.
Well, you wouldn't know, would you?
Oh, come off it.
I mean, what do you know about the theater? Or anything artistic, for that matter?
I know this thing stinks.
You're being tasteless and boorish.
Now, look, Iris, you get condescending with me and I'll knock your head off.
Don't shout.
I'll shout as much as I want to. Maybe I don't know much about theater, but at least I know who I am.
And so do I.
Are you ashamed of it?
No, of course not.
Well, that's fine. Otherwise, I might feel compelled to tell your fancy, artsy friends the truth. I started with nothing after the war, except a dishonorable discharge from the Canadian Army. And I fought and gouged my way up to this.
Money, money. That's all you ever think about, money.
Sure, so do you. Only I admit it.
I hate it when you do that.
That's why I do it. Come on. I'll drive you to that turkey feast you call a play. Would the whole theatrical world fall to bits if you were 10 minutes late? I want to talk to Harry Blundell.
It's your car.
Would you like this car, Iris?
Rick, do you mean it?
You can have it in a month.
A month?
I've ordered a custom-built job. Genuine leopard upholstery.
Murder?
Oh, lots of murder there. I guess the leg. I don't know what that is. Oh, we don't. You will? All right. You'll like that?
Yeah.
2 and 6. Thank you, Jean. How's the baby?
Oh, blooming.
Good. Ta-ta, love.
Bye.
Well, Harry, everybody's young but us.
Get out of here.
Harry, be sensible.
For the last time, no.
But you're the only holdout in the entire area.
I can't help it if everyone else is yellow.
But you're giving my other customers ideas. You see, they figure if Blundell's newsstand can get along without the Merchants Protective Association, they can too. I can't let that idea get around. You understand. It's nothing against you personally. It's the principle of the thing.
I won't knuckle under to extortion. If the others like to pay off, let them. But not me.
Well, Harry, if that's the way you feel,
It is.
just don't say I didn't warn you.
I've just been having an argument with Dad.
She has, indeed. Hello, Simon.
Morning, Mr. Hardy. What's the problem?
I've been trying to explain to him that Rick Lansing is the backer, not the producer.
What difference does that make?
I was in partnership with Rick Lansing for 10 years. I know what he's like. He's a thoroughly unscrupulous man. I don't want any daughter of mine even remotely connected with him.
Oh, I don't think she will be for long.
What do you mean?
It's complete nonsense.
That's what I said.
And just how much do either of you really know?
Mary, you don't have to be an expert to know that something's absolutely idiotic.
Simon, you promised to come to rehearsal. Give it a chance. See it on its feet. You've nothing else to do this afternoon, have you?
Well, no.
Simon, my boy, you're licked. Mary can talk a man into anything. I should know.
All I'm asking for is the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. I'm a gambler. Mr. Hardy?
Mark, don't rush it. Don't forget the abstract element in it. And you can do with a haircut. Now, what I suggest is the last time... Iris, darling.
Stratford,
Hi, good
darling.
morning.
Fine. Oh, may I introduce our director, Stratford Keene, my husband, Rick.
Mr. Lansing, very nice of you to come along.
Just wanted to see how you were spending my money. Not that it's any of my business. What was the name again?
Keene, Stratford Keene.
May I introduce our leading man, Mark Belden, my husband, Rick.
How do you do, Mr. Lansing?
How do you do? Is that the set?
It is a little bare, but then this isn't a play about furniture.
Just exactly what is it about?
To quote the author, it is an evening of total pain.
You're kidding.
Rick, please.
At 35 shillings a ticket, you're offering them total pain? Darling, I've got an idea. Why not hire a couple of extras to move among the audience with whips?
Rick, stop it, will you?
Mr. Lansing, I'm afraid we don't run the theater the way you run your building business.
Is that why it loses money?
The theater is an investment in people's minds.
How much am I investing in your mind?
You can take your investment back anytime you like, Mr. Lansing. Pay it to somebody who'll snap to attention.
Independent, eh?
Yes, I am.
I wish you luck. You may need it.
Oh, John, we'll start again. I want to have a word with you first. Excuse us.
Oh, darling, spare me a minute, will you? Are you deliberately trying to embarrass me?
I don't care whether you're embarrassed or not. He's a phony.
Now, look, Rick.
I haven't got time to argue about it. I've got to get to the office.
All right, Calder. Let's hear that last speech again.
Mary Hardy.
Mr. Lansing.
Don't tell me you're in this.
Well, I have hopes.
You mean you want to become involved with these lunatics? No, don't explain it. I wouldn't understand it. How's your father?
Oh, he's fine, thank you. Enjoying retirement. This is Mr. Simon Templar, Mr. Rick Lansing.
Mr. Lansing?
Templar. I know you.
I know you, too. How's the protection racket?
The name for it is business.
I knew a burglar once. He called himself a removal man.
This play could do with a clown. Should I ask them to hire you?
Well, at the moment, I am gainfully employed.
Doing what?
Holding Mary Hardy's hand.
Not a bad job at that. Well, goodbye, all.
But I always felt she thought it...
Mary.
Hello, Mrs. Lansing. Oh, may I present Mr. Simon Templar, Mrs. Lansing?
Mrs. Lansing?
Hello, Mr. Templar. Have you come to watch us rehearse?
I can't wait.
Well, we'd be delighted to have your opinion.
Show me receipts from the Rover Club are up to 7,000 this week.
Not bad.
Slot machine revenue down 280.
Spencer, I've got the sole concession for these machines here in England. They go where I say they'll go. Let's just switch a few of them around, get some of these characters on the ball.
Sure, Rick, I'll take care of it. Anything else?
Yes, I want to talk to you, without my secretary. Daisy, go out and get some coffee. If Daisy could only learn to type, eh?
Well, you can't have everything.
No. Including Blundell's newsstand. I dropped in on him this morning.
And?
He says he won't join.
What do you suggest?
He's got to fall in line. We better do a little persuading. Get hold of Bryce. The three of us will pay Blundell a visit tonight, say around 7 o'clock.
No need for you to get involved, Rick.
I make it a rule to do my own dirty work. Besides, I rather like it.
With no such pain, only the endless meditative comma.
Coma.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's a mystery. The endless meditative coma.
I don't think either of you understands this scene.
Understand the scene. Nobody understands the play.
Shh, please.
Can you tell me what I'm doing here? I must be out of my mind.
Simon, you promised, and you can put up with it for the rest of the afternoon. Besides, Iris has asked us for supper.
Oh, this just isn't my day.
What do you think of her?
She's pleasant enough. What's with her and Belden?
Why on earth did you marry a man like that?
Well, it's simple enough. My family were poor. Constant back-breaking effort to make ends meet. You know, I didn't even have a decent evening dress until I married Rick. Now I've got dozens.
Was it just the money?
No, not at first. I hadn't been married 6 months before I realized it was a terrible mistake.
Why don't you leave him?
That's simple, too. I'm afraid of him. Frightened of what he might do.
Where does that leave us?
Nowhere. We'll just have to snatch what happiness we can.
Alice, darling, Miss Hardy. Come up on the stage, will you, for a minute?
Excuse me, please. You're wanted on the telephone, Mr. Calder.
Thank you. £3.
Hello? Look, I thought I told you not to call me here. Well, yes, I know I owe you the money. I'll pay you as soon as I can. I don't know when, but soon. Now, just give me time, will you?
Project, please. Project.
Mrs. Lansing, I wonder if you could do me a tremendous favor.
Well, what is it, Mr. Calder?
It's a little embarrassing, but could I have an advance of salary now? Today, if possible. It's very urgent.
Oh, I'm awfully sorry, but you see, my husband issues the checks. I don't think he'd cooperate.
Calder, come over here, please.
Thanks just the same, anyway.
Evening, Harry.
What do you want?
You'll see.
Here, just a minute.
I told you, Harry.
You try any of your strong-arm stuff with me, Rick Lansing, you go to jail.
I told you I couldn't afford a holdout, Harry. Okay, boys.
What are you doing?
Just gonna warm the place up a little, that's all.
Go ahead. Burn it. I'm insured.
Fine, and you'll be able to collect. And as soon as you get the place rebuilt,
We'll burn it down again.
Until you join the Merchants Protective Association.
if you'd cooperate with me, Harry, things would be so much easier. All right, boys. Well, you won't be able to put this one out, Harry, so we'll run along.
Crooks! Thieves! Boys. Crooks! That's all you are! You'll go to jail for this!
Better not hang around, Harry. You'll get your backside broiled.
Sublime orchestral experience.
Mozart is the symphonist at his zenith.
Hey, what is this, a wake or something?
Hello, Mr. Lansing.
Hello.
It happens to be Mozart's Jupiter Symphony.
Beats me. Iris has every twist disc ever cut, and she plays junk like this.
I'll turn it off.
Well, I think we should all run along.
No, don't break up the party because of me. Stick around. Never met an actor yet who wouldn't lap up turkey and free champagne. You hungry, Sonny?
Oh, no, thank you, Mr. Lansing. I wonder if I might have a word with you.
Sure.
Private.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, since you're the backer, I thought it might be possible.
Don't ask him.
Ask me what?
Never mind, never mind. I'll get some more champagne. Mark, come and help me.
What's on your mind?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I shouldn't have brought it up.
No, but you did bring it up, so finish it.
Well, I thought you could lend me some money.
Oh? How much?
Quite a lot, I'm afraid. £200.
What for?
I hate to admit it, but I lost it gambling.
Oh? Where?
The Rover Club. You see, I left them a check and advanced.
Sonny, let me give you a piece of advice. No man in his right mind gambles if he can't afford to lose. It's an old rule. Cheer up. I won't let the Rover Club put you in jail. Come on, have some bubbly. Come on, everybody, help yourselves. I put down 110 bottles of this stuff at £2 a bottle.
Must you tell them the price?
Iris doesn't like it when I mention the price of things. I can't understand why. Price is about the only thing in this world you can't distort. Oh, Templar, come here a minute. Help yourselves, everybody, help yourselves.
Yes, come on. Come on, Mary, you have one of these.
What do you think of this nutty play?
I think I'd prefer to reserve my judgment.
Yeah, I'll bet. Confidentially.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I think. And it makes me so mad.
Why?
Well, it's phony. I hate people who pretend. Now, you take Iris. If she hadn't seen the label on that disc, she wouldn't know whether it was the Jupiter Symphony or the Gin Fizz Drag. If she'd admit that, I'd quit needling her.
Was it necessary to be so rude about it?
When I want a lesson in manners from you, Templar, I'll ask for it.
Well, Lansing, whenever I think you need a lesson in manners, you'll get it, whether you ask for it or not. Excuse me.
Rick,
What?
when you drove me to the theater yesterday, you stopped at Blundell's newsstand.
What about it?
It burned down last night.
Really? Well, now, that's a shame.
Yes, I can see you're dreadfully upset.
Is it in the news?
Yes.
Let me see it. Well, come on, come on.
Overcome by smoke and fumes, it says. Yes. He's dead.
Rick, I've got to talk to you. Yeah, I thought you might. Beat it, Daisy.
Sure, Rick.
Harry Blundell. He's dead.
Yeah, I know.
Look, we're in trouble.
No, we're not. He was overcome by smoke and fumes. The papers say so. An old man of 63 dies in a fire of unknown origin. It was an accident.
I hope you're right.
I'm always right. And just think of the influence this will have on the less cooperative members of the Merchants Protections Association. We'll never have a holdout again.
Yeah, I suppose.
We're completely in the clear. Forget it. Hello?
Mr. Lansing, please.
Speaking. Who's this?
A friend who's interested in Harry Blundell's accidental death.
Just a minute. Could you repeat that, please?
I'm interested in Harry Blundell's accidental death because it wasn't an accident and I can prove it. You started that fire yourself.
Who is this?
A friend.
How much do you want?
Oh, I'm not greedy. £10,000. You'll get your instructions in the post tomorrow morning. And if you know what's good for you, you'll do exactly as you're told.
What is it, Rick? I'm not quite sure. Could you repeat that, please?
I'm interested in Harry Blundell's accidental death because it wasn't an accident and I can prove it. You started that fire yourself.
Who is this?
A friend.
How much do you want?
Oh, I'm not greedy. £10,000. You'll get your instructions in the post tomorrow morning.
Isn't that Templar's voice?
Well, it certainly sounds like it.
What I can understand is how he could possibly tie me up with a fire I had absolutely nothing to do with. It's crazy. And does he think for 1 second I'm going to knuckle under to a thing like this?
Well, I don't know.
He ought to. He's your friend.
Oh, really, Rick, that's not fair. It has nothing to do with me.
Ah, I'm sorry, honey. It isn't. I'm sorry I yelled at you. Forgive me?
What you going to do?
I'm going to fix him. Permanently. Simon Templar, the gentleman, is nothing but a lousy blackmailer.
This looks like the one. It's addressed to you. Is it from Templar?
He hasn't got the guts to sign it. Follow these directions exactly. Place 10,000 pounds in 5-pound notes in the enclosed envelope. Mail it before noon today. Otherwise...
It's addressed to Clive Vance, care of Kensington Post Office, post restant. What are you going to do?
Shut up, I'm thinking.
Otherwise, Harry Blundell's death will take a lot of explaining. Rick, tell me the truth. Did you have anything to do with this?
Of course I didn't.
Well, then I just don't understand it.
Never mind, I can take care of myself. Mr. Simon Templar's going to be taught a lesson he'll never forget. Hello, Thatcher. I got it. Now listen, get the cash and come up here as quick as you can.
Okay, Rick, will do. What time I get to the bank? About 3/4 of an hour. Yeah. Sure, Rick. Goodbye.
Take the calls.
Oh, sure.
All right, give me the rest of it.
5, 10,000.
Here. Now, you take this envelope to the Kensington post office and mail it. Then you wait.
Till someone calls for it.
Till Templar calls for it. I'm sure it was his voice. The minute you see him, with this envelope in his hand, grab him.
Then what?
Bring him back here.
You'll get him.
Take off.
Oh, Rick, why use the real stuff in the envelope?
Because I'm not taking any chances. If you guys slip up over this, or if Templar takes off before you catch him, what do you think he'd do if he discovered paper in there instead of the real stuff? He'd start a squeal.
We won't slip up.
Rick, you killed Blundell, didn't you?
No.
But you started that fire.
All right, I did. So what? Blundell had to be brought into line.
Brought into line? Is that what you call it?
Look, we had nothing to do with his death. Not really. We set fire to his shop, but we didn't lay a hand on him. I thought he walked out practically behind us.
Anything happening?
Not yet.
You can have something to eat. I'll take over.
Right. Wait a minute. I know him. Stratford Keene. He's directing that play, Rick's Financing.
That mean anything?
See what he collects. If it's our envelope, follow him. I'll be outside.
Hello?
Mr. Templar?
Speaking.
Mr. Templar, this is Kensington Post Office. We've a large envelope for you here. We've had it for several days. It's marked post restant to a wet collection.
For me, are you sure?
Well, it's addressed to you, sir. You are Mr. Simon Templar.
Yes, I am. Well, I'll be down to pick it up. Thank you. That's funny.
What is?
Well, it'd write to me, care of Kensington Post Office.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Go to the post office, get it, and open it.
That's brilliant. Cheers. name's Templar, Simon Templar. I believe you have an envelope for me.
One moment, please, Mr. Templar. Just sign for it, please, will you, sir?
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Templar, keep it calm.
I'll take that. We don't want to bother the public with nasty shooting. Come on.
Where?
I'll show you.
Well, where are the rest of the guests?
Sit down. Watch him.
What happens next? Tea?
Open it. You know, it beats me, Templar, how you figured I'd knuckle under to blackmail.
You're kidding, of course.
Paper.
Rick, it's impossible. He wasn't out of our sight.
All right, Templar, where's my 10,000 pounds? How'd you work this?
Well, suppose you tell me what I've been working, and then I'll tell you how I worked it.
Rick, you want me to? In a minute.
Talk. I don't have a clue as to what this is all about.
Are you denying that you phoned me yesterday?
I phoned you.
I'm interested in Harry Blundell's accidental death because it wasn't an accident, and I can prove it. You started that fire yourself.
Who is this?
A friend.
How much do you want?
Oh, I'm not greedy. 10,000 pounds. You'll get...
Well?
It's not me.
Oh, come on.
It's not my voice.
You expect me to believe that?
Lansing, you can believe what you like, but that is not my voice. It's a good imitation. In fact, it's pretty nigh perfect. But I did not make that call. And what's more, if I wanted 10,000 pounds from you, I wouldn't walk through a sewer to get it. I'd simply steal it. Now, excuse me, gentlemen.
I leave him.
Thank you.
Where are you going?
A man who can imitate my voice that well is obviously an actor. And where is the most logical place to look for actors? A theater.
A darling new cue. Mark, cut out. What's happened? Right down to ask you to. Yeah. And then we get back to driver.
How's it going, Mr. Corder?
Not too bad.
Raise that 200 pounds yet?
I'm afraid not.
The Rover Club doesn't fool around when it comes to gambling debts.
No, I know it. I just found out why. Rick Lansing owns it.
Well, that's life.
Oh,
Hello?
did you get your letter?
Yes, I sure did.
I just don't get it.
I don't either.
How did he work it? Wait a minute.
What?
This is addressed to Simon Templar.
Well, let me see. But the one I left was addressed to...
Wentz. Clive Wentz. Thatcher, I've got it.
Yeah, there were 2 envelopes.
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Templar gets 2 identical envelopes like this. He addresses one of them to a Clive Wentz and mails it to me, along with a blackmail note. You with me?
So far.
Now, the other one he stuffs with paper and mails to himself. That's the one he collected.
Because he figured we were watching him.
Yeah. And we fell for it, 100%. We watch him pick up the dud. We bring him back here. We find a lot of paper. He denies everything, and we buy it.
Then he goes back to the post office and picks up the one addressed to Wentz.
With my money in it.
Hey, that ain't bad.
Not bad. It's brilliant.
So, what do we do now?
Well, we're too late. By now, I'll have collected it.
Let's get to his flat, then.
Do that. Do whatever you like. But get back my 10,000.
Sure, Rick.
Groaning about a mess they've made of... Mark, you're superb. You won't drop your H's even in rehearsal. This is Cockney, remember?
Well, let's hear you do it, maestro.
A number of blokes what come through here, groaning about the mess they've made of things.
Does he do bad calls, too?
Simon, you don't think he could be Stratford?
Who knows? I'd like to talk to him.
Let's have a cup of tea, shall we? Break the tea, boy. Hello, Templar.
Mr. King. Just between the two of us, what do you really think of this play?
It's ghastly.
Then why are you involved?
That's quite simple. Money I needed.
Don't we all?
I bought an option on Hugh Randall's new play, but until I've got it in rehearsal, I'm stuck with this.
Well, I hope things work out for you.
If you don't mind.
Took the bedroom and kitchen to bits, nothing. There's nothing here either. Well, let's go.
Broker's man. I wasn't told this place was due for demolition.
We're here after the money. We know you've got it. We've figured out exactly how you did it.
You're a genius. Gentlemen, how do you feel about a little housework? Clean it up. All of it. Congratulations, a real sloppy operation.
You fumbled it.
They did indeed.
Couldn't help it, Rick. He hasn't got the money. Or at least it's not in his rooms.
That's right. I don't have the money, period. Now, for the last time, Rick, I am not the blackmailer. And if you give me any more problems, I'll be forced to give you that little lesson in manners I promised you.
You left here, and within minutes you collected that other envelope. The one you addressed to Clive Wentz.
You're wrong. I don't know anything about Harry Blundell's death except what I heard on that tape recorder.
Then why did you turn up at the Kensington post office?
Because I had a call, too. They said there was a letter for me. I went down to pick it up. And your two watchdogs trundled me up here, leaving the coast clear for the real blackmailer to pick up the other envelope.
It makes sense.
Of course it does. Oh, feel free to sit down, gentlemen. You're on home ground. Now, Rick, why don't you and I let our hair down?
About what?
I'm just as anxious to find your 10,000 pounds as you are. I want to meet the guy who's using me as a dummy.
So where do we start?
What about Harry Blundell?
What about Harry Blundell? I only know what I read in the papers.
Somebody disagrees with you. 10,000 pounds worth.
It was an accident, overcome by smoke and fumes.
But who started the fire?
I have no idea.
Well, when I find out, I'll let you know.
Yeah. You do that.
Rick, if it turns out to be you, there will be trouble. And by the way, have this for you.
What's this?
It's a bill for 200 pounds.
For what?
Damages to my apartment.
When you move house, you leave all the rubbish behind. The anger and the remorse, and the metallic yells of recrimination from all those friends who stood by you in good time and forgot you afterwards. You can throw them away. It's the same when you leave this world.
Then you exit very slowly. And curtain. Thank you, darling. That was quite nice. That's all for today, sweethearts. Thank you very much.
May I, Miss Hardy, for a fitting now?
Is that all right, Mary?
Will it take long?
Oh, no doubt. Only 10 or 15 minutes.
All right. Oh, Stratford, are you leaving right away?
Mm-hmm.
If Mr. Templar's car's outside, tell him I'll be a few minutes yet.
Of course.
Hello.
Is that Mr. Jack Hardy?
Speaking. Who is this?
My name doesn't really matter. What's much more important is that phony stock prospectus you drew up for the Lansing Bender Company 3 years ago.
Who are you? What do you want?
Or if you want to keep your of dirty secrets, Mr. Hardy. It's going to cost you £10,000. You'll get your instructions in the post tomorrow morning.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Where would you like to have dinner?
Oh, you decide. Any news of our blackmailer?
No, not yet. What about you?
A man came to the theater and asked Calder for money.
Did he pay up?
I don't know. I was on stage at the time.
I suppose you're convinced now that the blackmailer is a member of the cast.
Aren't you?
It has to be an actor. And somebody who knows a great deal about Rick Lansing.
Without facts, blackmailing won't work.
Jack, I never mentioned that prospectus to a soul.
Then how did Templar find out about it?
I keep telling you it isn't Templar. Somebody's impersonating
It was Templar who phoned me.
It wasn't.
Then who was it?
I don't know, but I didn't have anything to do with it. My word of honor.
Word of honor, since when? You're incapable of telling the truth about anything.
Jack, you're beginning to make me mad.
Why should I think you'd stop at blackmail? You've done everything else.
That's enough, Jack. I mean it.
You and Templar are in this together, and I'm going to the police.
Fine, go and shoot your mouth off. See if the police will buy this holier-than-thou pap you feed yourself. But the fact remains you did issue that prospectus.
From your cooked-up figures.
You could have checked them.
I trusted you.
Well, you made a mistake. So trot right down to the police and tell them the whole story. But before you climb on the bandwagon for justice, you better make sure your own skirts are clean.
Good evening, Mr. Hardy.
Get out of here.
Dad!
You heard me, Templar. Get out.
Mr. Hardy, I don't understand.
Dad, for heaven's sake, what is this?
For your information, the eminent Mr. Simon Templar is a blackmailer.
Oh, Dad, that's ridiculous.
Mr. Hardy, I think I can explain.
I'm not interested in your explanations. You phoned me tonight and threatened me. Well, the answer is no. Now, get out of here.
This is the second time my voice has been used for blackmail. First Rick Lansing, and now you.
Dad, it's true. Simon had nothing to do with this.
I don't believe it.
Mr. Hardy, I give you my word. I didn't phone you tonight.
He's been with me all evening.
At 5 minutes to 6.
Oh, no, not actually. I was sitting in the car outside the theater waiting for you.
I see. Well, it's not exactly an alibi, is it?
No, it isn't. And the blackmailer knew it.
How do you mean?
Oh, when I was waiting outside, Mark Belden, Calder, and Stratford Keene came out. They all saw me. I was alone. I'd have no way of proving I didn't slip across the road to use the telephone. Mr. Hardy, what did the voice say?
It threatened me with exposure over a prospectus I prepared for Rick Lansing 3 years ago. I'm to receive instructions through the post tomorrow about how to pay the money.
How much?
£10,000.
Mr. Hardy, I presume you want to fight this.
Well, yes.
Dad, you haven't done anything wrong, have you?
Not legally, but I made a terrible mistake.
What?
Well, Rick presented me with a totally false set of figures. And I trusted him. Never occurred to me to doubt his word. So I drew up the prospectus. Quite a few people invested money. When I found that the figures were faked, too late to do anything about it. So I resigned from the company. Never spoke to Rick again.
Mr. Hardy, I'm going to get this blackmailer. But I need your cooperation.
Well, you have it.
May I use the phone?
Hope so.
Who are you calling?
Scotland Yard. I'll set things up for the morning.
Put £10,000 in fivers in the enclosed envelope by noon today. Put the envelope in the litter basket which stands opposite the entrance to the fun fair in Battersea Park. See map.
Why is it made out of newspaper?
Because newspapers in litter baskets don't attract attention. Well, this will be simple. Will it, Inspector? Can you get the money, Mr. Hardy?
Well, yes. It's about all I have in the world.
I'll take you to the bank. We'll get a list of the serial numbers. Inspector, may I make a suggestion? No. Oh, ask a silly question. See you later. That's the one. That's Mr. Hardy, right on time. Well, that's it. Is the road sweeper one of your men? It's not that obvious. The fellow having a nap on the bench. And there are 5 other men you can't see. They won't get away with this. Well, they did with Lansing.
Come on, sit down. I want to talk to you.
What about?
Just talk. I never get a chance to see you anymore.
Well, I can't stay long.
Why? Where you off to?
Oh, the theater?
Saturday?
Oh, I've got some fittings.
When will you be through?
I'm not quite sure. Why?
Well, I thought we might have lunch.
Oh, darling, I'm terribly sorry, but I'm having lunch with Stratford Keene. We've got a few little problems to iron out.
Where are you meeting him?
The Ellington.
Mind if I join you?
Oh, Rick, you'd be bored to tears. And after the way you spoke to him the other day, the atmosphere wouldn't be too cozy, now would it?
No, I suppose you're right. On the other hand, the man who pays the bills has a right to ask a few questions.
Yes, of course. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yes. Patience is a virtue. Didn't you think to check when they emptied the bins?
Yeah, Rick, everything.
Inspector, you've been had. What do you mean? I bet you anything you like those envelopes are switched. You check with your sleepy friend and I'll meet you at the theater.
It worked.
You've got it?
We're rich. Let's get out of here.
Oh, just a moment. Give me a chance to collect myself. You know, I've been so afraid.
You were wonderful in the park. It worked perfectly. £20,000, Iris. I've got the plane tickets. We'll be in Paris for dinner.
Yes, I know, but... Mark, I'm sure that Rick knows about us.
Forget Rick. You're rid of him for good. You'll get your instructions in the post tomorrow morning. Just do as you're told.
Yes, it's uncanny.
It is indeed. You're quite sensationalism, Mick Weldon. You're even showing promises of blackmailer. And that's what irritates me deeply, especially when I'm used as dummy.
Templar, we can work something out.
Make me a proposition.
How much do you want?
All of it.
You're mad.
Am I? Are you really qualified to judge, Mrs. Lansing? Well, mimic blackmailer and our strong-arm man. And push your luck, Belden. I'm curious about one thing. If you'd got away with this money, what were you planning on doing about Rick?
I despise him. He's common, tasteless, and vulgar.
That's too bad. It had to be you, Iris. You were the one with access to my private papers. You knew about Jack Hardy. And today, when you said you were having lunch with Keene, I checked the restaurant. You weren't expected, either of you.
Rick, give me that gun.
Keep out of this. Just tell me one thing, Iris. I gave you anything you wanted. Furs, jewelry, even this deadbeat play. I loved you, Iris. Why did you do it? Why?
Have you any idea of what it's been like? Being married to you.
Mrs. Lansing, cut it out.
No, go on, say it.
I loathe you. I cringe when you touch me. You're a thug and a murderer. You and your protection racket. An old man of 63 refuses to pay you off, and you burn down his store.
I ought to kill you, Iris. You deserve it.
Well, go on. Go on. Why don't you? Go on. It's the only thing you understand, violence and hurting people. Go on. Go on, shoot me.
All right, Iris, you asked for it.
Hardy, there's your £10,000 intact, along with your reputation.
Simon, how can we thank you enough?
Thank you.
We really are very, very grateful.
Along with thousands of others, I hope.
What do you mean?
Well, I've saved them from one of the grimmest evenings in years. That play.